Okay, so today we're going to be diving into the map view. We're going to be taking a look at Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. We're going to take a look at essentially at the layout of Myrtle Beach, Horry, and Georgetown County and the roadways. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a good understanding of the layout, where each town is located, and well, how to get around. And we're going to be getting after it right now. Hey YouTube family, I'm Jeff Buehler with Living in Myrtle Beach. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living, working, playing, and simply living that beach lifestyle, you've come to the right place. Hit the subscribe button, tap the little bell. This way you are notified on all things living in Myrtle Beach. Now, before we get started, I do need to give a huge shout out to all the amazing people who we've been able to successfully help make a move here. If you too are looking to make a smooth move here to the beach, whether it's in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Better yet, schedule the Zoom call. We'd love to meet you. Okay, so let's dive in here. I'm going to share my screen with you, I believe. There we go, share screen. And we're gonna see we've got the Myrtle Beach area pulled up. So right here, of course, is Myrtle Beach. And, you know, Myrtle Beach, or the area, really is not that large of an area. It essentially runs from Pawleys Island, anchoring us on the south, moving up to North Myrtle Beach and Little River, anchoring us on the north end of the Grand Strand, which is essentially 60 miles. As we move west from Myrtle Beach, along Highway 501, that's going to take us out into Conway. And then when we get into the more rural areas like Aner and Gallivan's Ferry, essentially bordering us on the further western part of our county, is really only about 35 miles long. Now we're going to go to this view here so I can give you an understanding of the roads and the layout. Now, I remember when I used to travel back and forth from home when I was in school here, and you know, here is I-95, and really kind of the only way in and out of Myrtle Beach was to take 95 to 501, and of course 501 brought you into Myrtle Beach, and from there you then have to take bypass 17 north and south to Little River or Pawleys Island. Since then, it has opened up. 501, I remember during that time, was just a 2-lane highway. And so definitely in the summertime, traffic was a bear, that's for sure. Now you notice if you're coming from 95 to 501 and you want to get to the North Strand into North Myrtle Beach, Little River, well, you can get onto Highway 22 right here, which is going to bring you up to Highway 9, or you can bring it all the way into bypass 17. So now it essentially drops you off right into the North Myrtle Beach, Little River area. I think this is pretty important too. Maybe if you're coming from the northeast, a lot of people find themselves kind of migrating here in the Longs, Little River area. They feel that they're just that much closer to home when they do want to visit back and forth. We also now have Highway 31, which you see is essentially our freeway, and it runs from Highway 9. So right here is Highway 31. This is going to be a 4-lane highway where, you know, you can essentially do 75 miles an hour, and it's just going to beeline you from the North Strand down to the South Strand, south of Socastee, coming into Surfside Garden City Beach, dumping you off right onto Highway 707. Now you're going to notice our roadways are pretty simple. You are either running north to south or east to west, not a whole lot more in between. And so if we zoom more into closer to the beach, you see we've got Business 17. So essentially Business 17, also referred to as Kings Highway, This is the area that's going to run essentially along the coast, right? It's the business route. If we zoom in a little further, then we'll actually get right up onto the beach, onto Ocean Boulevard. And you see South Ocean Boulevard and North Ocean Boulevard. So what's kind of interesting, especially in this Myrtle Beach area and in Surfside, you'll have avenues that will run, you'll see, so it's going First Avenue North, Second, Third, Fourth, etc. north, but then it goes the opposite direction from First Avenue going to Second Avenue South, Third Avenue South, and so on. And you're going to find that same thing in the Surfside beach area. I think that confuses a lot of people if you just simply say, you know, Third Avenue. Well, is it Third Avenue North or Third Avenue South? And then is that in Myrtle Beach? Is it in Surfside Beach or North Myrtle Beach as well? Once it gets to a certain point, it kind of starts back over. That's probably one of the most confusing things. It can be the avenues. Then you'll have bypass 17. You can see right here, and of course, as it states, it's bypassing around Business 17, essentially up to the north end of Myrtle Beach, right? So we have Myrtle Beach, and then oftentimes on the northern part of Myrtle Beach, we'll kind of refer to that as, you know, the north end of Myrtle Beach, not necessarily North Myrtle Beach, okay? And then it will continue along all the way up into North Myrtle Beach. And here again, we can see Highway 31 and Highway 22. Some other roads that have really helped kind of alleviate some pain points, especially when we talk about the suburb areas of Carolina Forest here. You can see from Highway 31, we've got International Drive, and International Drive will now take you basically from the avenues section of Myrtle Beach, and it's going to bring you up to Highway 90, which is in the Conway area. Highway 90 also runs from Conway to Little River, and this used to be kind of also the only way to get from, you know, that point to Little River, and it's still a 2-lane highway. It's kind of more of a rural road, so you can still get, you know, stuck behind some tractors and that sort of thing, and really kind of slow you down. Then if we're talking back from Conway, you also have Highway 701, which is going to take you further south into all the way to Georgetown, which is going to be south of Pawleys Island, right into Georgetown here. Let's explore some of the towns here. So from south, moving north, we have, again, Pawleys Island really kind of anchoring us, you know, on the south end of the Myrtle Beach area before you get into Georgetown. Now, Pawleys Island, you're going to notice, is a fairly small area. Each of these towns are really kind of broken up a little bit. You're also going to notice, you know, that we have a lot of preserves, you know, national wildlife refuges throughout our area. So a lot of low-lying area, but all through here, this is essentially Pawleys Island, Litchfield Beach. You know, this is going to be an area, it's considered the hammock coast. I think the locals like to refer to them as being shabby chic, right? So this is definitely kind of a more, a higher price point area that you're gonna find along the beach, along the beaches. Certainly some really, really pretty areas though. You can find homes right along the beach, but once we get across 17, you can also find, you know, some neighborhoods like the River Club, Litchfield Country Club, Caledonia. So there are going to be some neighborhoods throughout here. You can see a lot of golf course communities throughout here. Again, price points are going to be on the higher side as you're in Pawleys Island. As we continue north, then you're going to notice, again, we've got Brookring Gardens and all this natural preserve that separates essentially Pawleys Island, then moving into Murrells Inlet and further north. What's really neat is this little spot right here, which is Huntington Beach State Park. and the Atalaya Castle. You can come visit this. Obviously, this is a state park, which again, you can come and hang, spend the day at the beach here. It's going to be very uncrowded. There's actually lots of playgrounds, and then you have facilities, washrooms, and that sort of thing, showers and whatnot to get cleaned up after that long day on the beach. And so as we then will want to kind of continue further north, right, you're going to have essentially just 17 until you then come into Business 17 into Myrtle's Inlet. So this is the inlet right here. All in here is part of Myrtle's Inlet, where then you'll see here the Myrtle's Inlet Marsh Walk. So this is kind of that downtown Myrtle's Inlet area. You can find homes in here as well. Actually, there's a handful of little mini neighborhoods, I'll say, like this one right here, that kind of pop up. So you can still be kind of in that downtown Myrtle's Inlet area along the Marsh Walk, which is also just a great place to come spend the day or the evening, is to come down here along the Marsh Walk, which is essentially a nice boardwalk here where you just have restaurant after restaurant along there. If we then head from the Myrtle's Inlet area going west across 17, that's going to take you into the Wachesaw and Burgess area. And again, you're going to find many different neighborhoods and communities throughout this area. Depending on where you're at, you'll kind of notice from the south moving north, price points start to adjust slightly. But I'm going to say the Burgess area and through here is really going to be in the TPC area. This is going to be kind of your suburbs of Myrtle's Inlet. So I'll tell you, actually, there's a fantastic neighborhood here, which is Prince Creek. Prince Creek you can see, is a very large neighborhood, very large community here. You're going to find homes in the 5, 6, 7s, and in some cases even significantly more. You're going to find a lot of restaurants. There's a Publix grocery store, a Lowe's grocery store, so a lot of conveniences. But I'm going to say that that's going to be essentially the suburbs of kind of Myrtle's Inlet. And then if you want to access the beaches, then you're going to be looking at Garden City Beach. So again, kind of coming back here, here's the inlet, here's the downtown Myrtle's Inlet area. And then the inlet here essentially separates the mainland to Garden City and to the point. This is considered Garden City Point. I'm going to show you something which I think is pretty neat right here. This is such a beautiful spot. Well worth taking the time to find your way here. Now, this community here is gated. It's going to be kind of a resort style community, but you'll see this house here. Now, rumor has it, so I've been told, I don't know how true it is, but that this was once Dolly Parton's home. And you can see it really sits out on the point here of Garden City Beach. And boy, I bet they have such a spectacular view right there, that's for sure. Okay, so if we come back out, we're gonna make our way up again. So Garden City Beach through Surfside Beach. So when we talk about Pawleys Island, again, that's the Hammock Coast. Price points are going to be a little bit higher there. As we move into Garden City and Surfside beaches, this is what's considered, kind of the family beaches. It definitely gives you kind of that quintessential small beach town feel and vibe to it. You can golf cart down Walk-A-Mall Drive, which is right here, which is along the beach. And it's interesting because Garden City and Surfside Beach, they tend to kind of blend together. But if you ask anyone in Garden City, they're gonna say Garden City is better than Surfside. And if you talk to anyone in Surfside, they're gonna say Surfside Beach is better than Garden City Beach. But pretty much what you're going to find through here, these are all going to be resort style homes. So if you're looking for a second home that you can just a great example. I think these are, the styles of homes that you're going to find, quintessential raised beach homes, that you can live in year round. I've had a lot of clients who have both bought and sold these homes where, they'll rent them out through the summertime, and then they come and stay here as snowbirds in the wintertime. And they allow for that summer revenue to essentially help, pay for their expenses and ownership of the home. Here we're still into Garden City. Here's the Garden City Pier. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. So you can see we have the Burgess area, so we're still kind of near that suburb area, and then into Surfside Beach. And again, I think you're going to find Surfside Beach and Garden City Beach to be very similar. They almost tend to blend together. One road that we kind of missed is then Highway 544, which will also take us from Surfside Beach, and that's going to take us all the way into Conway. So we'll follow Highway 544, which then is going to bring you into Socastee. And Socastee is essentially going to be kind of the suburbs of Surfside Beach. You do have some homes and communities that are going to be along the Intercoastal Waterway here. We'll take a look. We'll zoom in to see that. And you'll also find, you either are west of the waterway or you're east of the waterway. And then you're either east of 17 or you're west of 17. But you can see there's some great communities here if you are wanting to have a home that's right on the Waccamaw River here in the Socastee area. Socastee, you're going to have Socastee High School, which is, when I talk to a lot of parents who have kids that go to Socastee High School, and they absolutely love it. 544 continues up. You see here's Carolina Bays Parkway, which is also Highway 31, which would continue then into Conway. But we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back down here, back into Surfside. Okay, so here's kind of the end of Surfside Beach, and then we start to move our way into Myrtle Beach. You see, you've got Myrtle Beach State Park. Here's the Myrtle Beach International Airport. If you've ever have traveled through the Myrtle Beach International Airport, it's fantastic. It's so easy to get in and out of. One community that has really grown in popularity, really since kind of the beginning of its construction, is the Market Commons. And the Market Commons is located where the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base used to be. As a matter of fact, if we get right in here, we're going to see all of these homes through here were once part of the base housing for Myrtle Beach. And so a lot of those have been renovated to one degree or another. But for Market Common, what you're going to find, it's essentially a live work community. It's kind of the closest thing we have to maybe, like a downtown kind of city area where you're going to have, live space on top, work space on the bottom. Kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So here are some properties where, again, you're going to see, you may live on the top, but then you're going to have businesses all along the bottom here. It's really just a great area to come hang out. A lot of locals really enjoy coming to Market Common because you've got a lot of great restaurants all through here. You have the Valor Park, which is right here. There's always some type of event going on here I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can better see that. Valor Park, there's always some kind of festivals and events. And then you have the parks here with playgrounds. So this is a great, you see this lake here. This is a walking trail that goes essentially all the way around here, all the way around this lake. And then you have these baseball fields, soccer fields. There's a lot of sports tourism here in our area. But again, you can see just a lot of restaurants. There's a Barnes and Nobles. It's where we our one and only movie theater in our area. This is kind of the area that tourists and locals alike both really enjoy. And, the development here. So right here where my arrow is Faro Parkway, which is essentially going to take you to the beach and then into Market Common. And you're going to notice there are just a ton of different little neighborhoods. I won't even say little. There's some really big neighborhoods all through Market Common. And again, it's designed to really be kind of, self-sustaining. You could live back in this section of Market Commons, have a golf cart, and, cruise through here. I'm sure I've mentioned that in many videos. Having a golf cart is a must when you live in the Myrtle Beach area. You're going to find that whether you're just using it just for your neighborhood, or if you live in an area like Market Common, you're going to use it way more than you would think. All right, so let's zoom out. Let's come back to Myrtle Beach, to kind of the Myrtle Beach proper, the downtown area. When people think about Myrtle Beach, or you see pictures and advertisements of Myrtle Beach, I feel like this is where everyone thinks of, is the Family Kingdom amusement park. Here is the Skywheel. Let's get right in on the Skywheel. Now, I will say I give the city of Myrtle Beach a lot of credit. They've done a great job really revitalizing this area. You can see the boardwalk that runs along here. Now, if you're it's funny, I was just talking to my family last night. We were out to dinner, and there was this couple that was sitting next to us, and they were talking about Cape May, New Jersey. If you're familiar with the shore, I had to explain to my kids that especially in New Jersey, right, it's the Jersey Shore. It's not the beach. And of course, they have tremendous boardwalks there with all the amusements and whatnot. But for our area, of course, we have done a good job. I think the city's done a great job with revitalizing this area, creating a boardwalk along the beach here, for, again, both tourists and locals alike. We also notice a lot of great businesses and restaurants have come in here. Here's a Riptide's Oceanfront Rooftop Bar. This is a really fun spot to come hang out at. Especially, I've mentioned in other videos, when you live here, wanting to play tourist in the fall and winter time, right? These restaurants and businesses are still open during those months. You can still come and enjoy it, but not feel like you're in, spring break. So, or just all that summertime madness that we get. So obviously, Myrtle Beach is going to be more of the tourist type area. You can find homes through here, but this is more of the vacation type properties that you're going to find more so than neighborhoods to live in. Now, if we continue up along Myrtle Beach, actually, I'm going to back up a little bit. So as we talk about Myrtle Beach, and then this being kind of the resort area, well, then the suburbs for Myrtle Beach is going to be, I'm going to say, both Forest Brook. So here's the Intracoastal Waterway. This is Highway 501. So you've got Forest Brook, which is here, which is kind of west of 501, kind of splitting the difference of Surfside and Myrtle Beach. But you're going to find a ton of neighborhoods throughout Forest Brook, Arrowhead Country Club, golf course community, but many homes through there. You will find homes right on the ICW here in the Forest Brook area. And then as we come back to 501 and continue just a little further inland, then we're going to find Carolina Forest. So Carolina Forest is essentially going to be this entire section right here. All up and through here is Carolina Forest. You've got Carolina Forest Boulevard, which is going to run about right here, and it's going to cut all the way through. Now, what's nice about that, depending on the side that you live, if you live on this side of Carolina Forest Boulevard, well, you're likely going to be taking Highway 501 to come into the beach, or you do have, here's Highway 31 right here. So if you're looking to go further south, or further north, you can take Highway 31. Makes it really convenient, especially for any type of commuting for work. But Carolina Forest is definitely one of the more popular, suburbs of the Myrtle Beach area. But with Carolina Forest Boulevard, now if you live on this side of Carolina Forest, right, which is going to be the River Oak side. So we'll see as I scroll in, Carolina Forest Boulevard then intersects with River Oaks Drive. And then from River Oaks Drive, you can take Robert Grissom Parkway, and it is going to bring you across the waterway right into downtown Myrtle Beach. Before I get there, I want to show, here's the Horry County Bike and Run Park, also referred to as the Hulk. If you like to do mountain biking, you're going to see there's some great intercoastal waterway communities here. I want to say that this is likely Waterway Palms, or it's the Bluffs, and then you have Waterway Palms, and then Carolina Waterway Plantation. So a ton of great neighborhoods, very family-friendly neighborhoods. Yeah, this is Waterway Palms, and then you'll have Carolina Waterway Plantation. These are big neighborhoods where you have you're on the interior, but you still have boat access, a ramp access. So let's say you live in the interior here, you can see that there's a boat parking, or I'm sorry, boat storage right here. But then you can bring your boat out here, you can park your vehicle and then launch here, and you are on the waterway. Okay, so we're going to come back, and then you're going to find the same thing with some of these other neighborhoods. But what I really wanted to share with you then is when you take Robert Grissom Parkway here, right? Robert Grissom Parkway, that's one of those local roads. Rarely is this going to be a road that someone who's vacationing here is going to, to drive on. This is really something that helps, local traffic get around town. But what's so great, if you're in this part of Carolina Forest, then as you come into Robert Grissom Parkway, it's going to bring you right to 48th Avenue North. Let's see, did I get that right? Yep, I'm right. 48th Avenue North, which is then going to bring you essentially into the avenues section of Myrtle Beach. So we talked about kind of that downtown section, right, which is going to be all this way south. But as we get to about 34th Avenue North, which is going to be somewhere right in here, right, this is now the avenue section, or also referred to as the Golden Mile. And this is where you're going to find all those, $1 million oceanfront homes. You're going to find, some homes that are kind of on the interior, second row beach homes. You can see there's certainly some really pretty homes here. What's great about this area as well is, so we'll see right here, that is public parking. We go one block further, public parking. Now you do have to pay, but every block has public parking. And then they also, you notice, have these nice long walkways, boardwalks with a kind of a seating area right on the beach. And then they usually have a shower kind of right there, or maybe right up front. So, this is the section, this is where, the locals will come. So if you want to go to the beach, and, I hear it all the time, people say, oh, Myrtle Beach is just too crowded. Well, that's probably because you were in downtown Myrtle Beach, staying at the Patricia Grand, or, some hotel in Myrtle Beach where you were blanket to blanket with people, right? But if you come down here on any given weekend, right, this is where you're going to find locals, and we're all spread out. All right, so we're going to zoom out of there. And then if we talk about kind of the suburbs of, this area of Myrtle Beach, east of the waterway, because again, Carolina Forest is going to basically be the suburbs west of the waterway for the Myrtle Beach area. But as we continue on along Myrtle Beach, you're going to find a lot of these, neighborhoods, through kind of scattered throughout this part of Myrtle Beach. This is where you're going to find the Grand Strand Medical Center. So you're going to find a lot of homes through here as well that are going to be close. And then you also have the Grand Dunes, which actually is west of the waterway, but you do have two sections of it. So if you're looking for, you know, exclusivity, well, then the Grand Dunes is going to be the community that you're going to want to look at. As a matter of fact, let's see. Okay, so that's Marina Parkway. Yep, this is the main entrance. So it is gated and has security as well. So you're not going to just be able to get into the Grand Dunes. You do have a public golf course, and you also have a private course. So there are two courses here. So there's the private course and a public course to play there. You know, and there are really only a handful of actual private golf courses throughout Myrtle Beach that require membership. You're also going to find some of the best restaurants in Myrtle Beach are going to be found kind of up in this section. I think I got to zoom out a little bit more. Let's see, where am I? I even start to get a little lost. I hope I don't have you lost in this. I hope I'm not moving too fast for you. Here's the public supermarket, but along this area here, you're going to find just some great restaurants. Liberty Tap Room, actually that is still there. The one at Broadway at the beach is no longer there, but you've got restaurants like the Hook and Barrel, I just noticed, Blueberry's Grill, just a ton of different places throughout here. There's 44 and King, I think I've already passed that. So lots to do through here. And so then as we continue further north is now when we're going to start to get into, you know, North Myrtle Beach. Okay, so we have Pawleys Island, Surfside Beach, Garden City Beach, the Burgess area, which is west of there, Forest Brook, Carolina Forest being kind of the suburbs of Myrtle Beach. As we look at North Myrtle Beach, again, it's going to have kind of a similar feel to Surfside and Garden City. This is where you're going to find a lot of, you know, beach style homes. A lot of these homes are going to be, you know, on the older side. You will find some newer raised beach homes that are built throughout here. Kind of the same scenario. This is an area where, you know, it's that quintessential kind of beach community feel. It's not quite as heavily, you know, tourist based as, you know, Myrtle Beach, but obviously still has that because we do still have a lot of these high-rise hotels. I think I didn't quite mention that in Surfside and Garden City. You'll notice you're going to find less of these high-rises, and you're going to find more of these, you know, 4 and 5 to 7 story condominium complexes. So there's less crowded there as well compared to downtown Myrtle Beach, which is, again, it's going to be all of those high-rise hotels throughout there. So if we look at kind of the suburbs of North Myrtle Beach, I think one of the best communities that you can actually get into is going to be Barefoot Resort. So you have, of course, Barefoot Landing here, which this is really, really cool. It's basically shopping and dining. Broadway at the beach, which is in the Myrtle Beach area that I did not show, very, very similar. So you've got this big lakes and these boardwalks, and you can see there's just restaurants and shopping all through here. It's all kind of outdoor style. And then even along the waterway here, I'm going to go this way. This is one of our favorite spots right here, Lulu's. I think that's part of Jimmy Buffett. You've got this sandy beach area, so you can let the kids just kind of run around here while you hang out in Lulu's. You've got this boardwalk that comes all the way along the Intercoastal Waterway as well. So just a lot of great shopping, a lot of great dining here as well. We certainly do not have any shortage of shopping and dining. Then as you get into Barefoot, the community, right, you can purchase these types of condominium complexes here right on the waterway, but you also have, you know, these golf course communities all throughout here as well. So I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. The price points, you know, they're going to really vary anywhere from, you know, $400,000 to $800,000. There's a big gap. But again, here's some more condominium complexes, barefoot at Edgewater, right on the waterway. You also have some interior. And so that's essentially going to be kind of your suburb to coming into the North Myrtle Beach beaches. As we continue further along, we start to find ourselves into further up into North Myrtle Beach and then into the Cherry Grove section. So all this area here, again, kind of more of the same as far as this is going to be very, more kind of secondary resort style properties. Not to say that you can't live here full time. I know there are people that do live here full time in some of these homes here, but they are going to be more kind of your resort style, beach style homes for the most part. When we talk about these condominium complexes, I think it's really important to know if you're wanting to purchase an oceanfront condo, right? There are some buildings that are going to be certainly more geared towards a rental property that you're renting out through the summer. And there are some buildings where you're going to have more people that do actually live there than rent them out. So we certainly want to make sure that you understand the differences in those as well. You're going to find, so as we go through North Myrtle Beach, you're going to find pockets of little neighborhoods, that are, just off of the beach. We have Robert Edge Parkway. This is another very similar to Robert Grissom Parkway. Robert Edge Parkway is kind of one of those freeways that helps get you from, kind of west of the waterway into the beach. The North Myrtle Beach Sports Complex. Again, we do a lot of sports tourism here. A lot of soccer tournaments, baseball tournaments. You have this Shark Wake Park, which is really cool. If you're into wakeboarding, you have kids into wakeboarding, it's one of those cable parks. But I also wanted to show you, there are some neighborhoods. And actually on Google Maps here, it's not showing it as much, but this is a really growing area for some for neighborhoods throughout there. As we continue further up, you're going to notice we're going to start to get into kind of the Longs area. Here's North Myrtle Beach High School. Let's see. All right, so this area through here, though I'm not seeing it right now, is the Longs area. Okay, and you're going to find dozens of different neighborhoods all throughout here, and that's basically going to be kind of your suburbs west of the waterway for North Myrtle Beach and then into Cherry Grove. Obviously, once you're on the east side of the waterway, pricing, there's going to be a big difference in pricing. So you're going to find a lot of affordability out in Longs, but you're also going to find some great communities here in North Myrtle Beach. Seaside Plantation being one of them, Seabrook Plantation being another that comes to mind. And then so here is Hog Inlet. And so this is where you're going to find a lot of those homes right on the water as well. And again, I know people that do live in these year round, but these are generally, I'm going to say, more vacation style properties that people use on a part-time basis or will rent out. And then that essentially brings us to the point of Cherry Grove. So we've just gone from Pawleys Island anchoring us on the south end to Cherry Grove anchoring us on the north end. And then you have Hog Island that kind of separates, there's a buffer between that area and then to the border of North Carolina. And I think one thing a lot of people really don't realize is, how many just preserves that we have throughout our entire area. And you really can explore a lot of these. It really is really pretty. Again, I get people when they say Myrtle Beach and they just think of kind of the downtown area, right? So then as we go west of the waterway from North Myrtle Beach, we're going to find ourselves in Little River. So Little River is going to be very similar to Murrells Inlet, not quite as big, but it's going to have that, fishing village vibe to it. You're going to find some great little seafood restaurants right down here. You can see it's not quite as large, but there are some great little hidden gems to go into. And then you're also going to find some neighborhoods that are going to be right here in the Little River area, and even really coming up onto the border. Here's a great neighborhood right here as well. That's essentially kind of right on the border of North and South Carolina. And we can see there's actually lots of development going on through here. So to navigate that, of course, you'd have 17, and then we have Highway 50 coming up here, which is going to take you further into the Longs area. All right, now we're really going to kind of zoom out. We're going to come back more central. So we talked about Myrtle Beach and Carolina Forest, and then we have Conway. So when we talk about Conway, it is definitely, it has grown so much, especially the downtown area. But this is where you're going to find Coastal Carolina University, right in here, in this area here. Yep, there's the football stadium. So we've got Brooks Stadium. We have the baseball fields. So this is going to be Coastal Carolina University. You're going to have Conway Medical Center right nearby. Another great neighborhood, golf course neighborhood you're going to find is Wild Wing Plantation. Again, you can see they have a huge resort amenity style swimming pool. You have these lakes, which actually, this is one of, I'm going to say, 2 lake communities that you can actually boat through. This is navigable lakes that you can boat through. Now, when I talk about boating, I'm not talking about speed boating and water skiing, that sort of thing. You see these people have some docks here, but you can have kind of a small pontoon boat. So let's say you lived at this house here, you have your pontoon boat, and well, you can traverse through this lake. Of course, you can do fishing and that sort of thing, but you're just going to have a small pontoon boat. You're going to cruise through here. You're going to go under this bridge here, and then it's going to allow you to come right up and actually dock here at your amenity center. So I kind of look at these boats as like the golf carts of boats. Here we go. I wanted to find somebody that had one. So there you go. They're just kind of small little pontoon boats or even little john boats, but it's a lot of fun. Just allows you to navigate, maybe have that sunset cocktail hour out on the boat. But we're going to come back out here. So really kind of this area, though, it's Conway. I think almost kind of a lot of people, it's almost becoming West Carolina Forest, right? You are in a Conway zip code, got Myrtle Beach National as well, but you are part of the majority of this area here, which is going to essentially be east of downtown, is going to be within the Carolina Forest High School District, though you do have a Conway address. As we start to move in further inland, you see you have Highway 501 bypass and then Highway 501 business. That's actually going to bring you into the downtown area. Let's see. I guess I didn't go quite far enough. There we go. Here we are. And I'll tell you, if you live in the Myrtle Beach area and have not come to downtown Conway, you are really missing out. And that's what I love about our area. Whether you're in Pawleys Island, Murrells Inlet, Little River, Conway, each area has, its own feel and vibe and uniqueness to it. So here you're going to have the River Walk along Conway. This is a great restaurant right here, Bonfire Grill. And I'll tell you, with Conway, there are so many, new restaurants and businesses that are opening up throughout this area. So this is also where the county courthouse is going to be. So when you're moving here, this is where you're going to go to, get your driver's license and transfer and all that sort of thing. But you really do have, let's see if I can get us in on all right, so essentially this is a park. You've got this gazebo here, and then you just have these walking trails. We've used, especially when my kids were real little, we used to bring them when they were, on training wheels and just ride their bikes through here. And my wife and I could walk kind of downtown. It's very peaceful, very relaxing. You have these big oak trees, so there is a lot of shade throughout the area, kind of right along the water here. Can't really see it, but there are park benches. There are kind of the swing style benches. My kids would come down here on the water's edge and just kind of skip rocks and throw stones into the water, that sort of thing. But you can continue taking this all the way. There's a playground right here. You take this walkway, it comes around here, and then again you just have a lot of shade trees here, and then this nice long boardwalk all through here. It really is a special place. I really enjoy coming to downtown Conway. And you will find homes here that are kind of scattered throughout. Let's see. Some of these homes are going to be, they're built in the 40s and 50s, but you're also going to find some of these homes where people have done a lot of renovations to them. So you can be in that downtown area. If you're looking for, kind of quintessential small southern town kind of feel and vibe, well, Conway is definitely where you want to be. You're also going to find as you get outside of downtown, okay, so let's see, let me get you kind of oriented here. 501 coming into the beach, downtown Conway, all in this area. But as you come out, you're going to find there are a lot of neighborhoods scattered throughout here. And obviously the further west you get, then that's where you're going to start to find, affordability is going to be a big factor as you get more out into Conway. I have some people that say, Jeff, I'm looking for land. I want to be on an acre of land. Well, look, you're not going to find that in, along the coast. You're just not, unless, you have a $2 million budget, we can help you find that. Otherwise, you're going to want to start to make, if you're really looking to be more in the country, then you're going to want to get out here to, here we go. I was looking for Aner. Okay, so this is going to be more of a rural area, but you can find some neighborhoods throughout here. And this is definitely what we call God's country out here. There's Aner Elementary School. But this is where you will find some neighborhoods on smaller lots, but you can also find properties, that are going to be on, an acre of land, 2 acres of land, and you're going to feel like you're living, that country lifestyle. And the reality is you're only about 35 to 40 minutes, to the beach. Of course, depending on traffic and time of year, it could take you, closer to an hour, but you're still within very close proximity, to Myrtle Beach. So I hope that really gives you a good understanding of, not only just Myrtle Beach, but the surrounding areas, what they represent, the feel for each of those areas. And, again, if you have any questions about any of those, drop a comment in the comment section below. We'll be glad to answer them. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you at the beach.